Good morning, students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine. Okay, students, I am also fine at home. Okay, hope you all are reading your lessons, especially this commerce. So, at least even if you are not by hearting the question answers, at least read and keep, understand and keep. Listen to my video. Then the same lesson you have to take, open and read it. Okay, then only you will understand. So, in the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, we have studied about the three instruments, isn't it? Negotiable instruments. What are they? Check, bill of exchange, and check, bill of exchange, and the other one, promissory note. Sorry, okay, promissory note. So, these three instruments are more or less same, but they were having a little difference. All these have a common feature that it is negotiable. The meaning is the title of the ownership or ownership can be transferred from one person to another easily, okay, by just delivering the document or endorsing and deliver. So now we are going to learn little more about the check, that is crossing of check. So what is crossing of check? Here you might have heard that crossing of check. Check you might have seen, isn't it? At the left side of the check, we will draw two transverse lines at the face of the document. Okay, like this we will draw either these lines, or in between we can write and company. Okay, and company, or the abbreviation of this and company, they can write like that, and co. Okay, that is called and company. The words will be there, and co. That means they may that the crossing may have two parallel lines and with the words and company, or with simply and co. Okay, so what is the effect of this crossing? This is called crossing. Okay, at the face of the line, the drawer of the check, one who writes the check will draw two line, and he will write either and company and co. What is the purpose why we are drawing this crossing? Okay, here that first we will learn about the types of crossing. Okay, two types are there. One is general crossing, another one special crossing. Okay, here what is first one, we will learn about the general crossing. What they will do, this general crossing means the same thing, this one. Okay, they will draw two parallel lines, either the word and company or the abbreviation of these words will be given. Then sometimes the word not negotiable will be there. Okay, the word not negotiable. Okay, not negotiable will be there. So this is called general crossing. Okay, simply either only the two transverse lines, or this and company or and co, or this word not negotiable. If we draw this one, this two parallel lines and write these words, it means the payee banker. The banker will not give the amount to the drawee, okay, but to the banker only it will be given. What is the meaning? The banker cannot take the bank money at home. To the banker means the uh, any person who has account in the bank only will be given the amount, not a person. If anybody is drawing a check in your name, if the check is crossed like this, okay, crossed check it is called. So if you take this crossed check, if you have bank account in that particular bank only, you can receive the amount. Okay, otherwise you are not able to receive the amount. That means through counter they will not pay, but it will be deposited into your bank account, and from the bank account you can withdraw the money. Why that? What is the use, significance or importance of this crossed check, general crossing? If your check is lost, okay, someone has written a check and it is given to you, and if you have lost that check, then the person one who finds that check cannot go and collect the amount, because it is a crossed check. That amount will not be given in his hand, okay, but it will be transferred to the that payee's bank account only. Okay, that is the benefit of this check. Okay, crossed check, anybody cannot take the amount. The next one, what is special crossing? Okay, here that word not negotiable is also given. Okay, okay, here the words not negotiable will be given. Okay, by hearing this one not negotiable, that doesn't mean that it cannot be negotiated, cannot be transferred. We can transfer this one. Okay, so uh, simply drawing two line is called general crossing. Okay, or this one, but not negotiable, that one is special crossing. Okay, here here they will with that they will write the bank name also, State Bank of India. Okay, here the person one that payee means one who is collecting the amount, uh, or the drawer, he is directing that payee's bank to give the amount to that particular bank only. Okay, it will not be collected from any other bank. It will be collected only through State Bank of India. That is called special crossing. Here to that person alone, but here this special crossing, that bank name will be mentioned. Understand? So to that particular bank only the amount will be paid. Okay, from that the State Bank of India, if you have account only, you can collect that amount, check amount. Okay, so it is little more safe, isn't it, than the general crossing check. Next one, not negotiable crossing. Here this crossing here, this not negotiable, it will be either written in the general crossed check or special crossing. Okay, these words. By having these words, it doesn't mean that we cannot transfer the title of the check. We can transfer. Okay, so what is that one? If the check is that owner, or the owner can transfer the check to another person, but these words are not having much importance in that check. Okay, even though the words are there, the check are transferable only. Okay, next one, account payee crossing. This account payee crossing, again in the crossing they will write account payee or payee's account. Here what is the meaning? The amount will be given to the payee's account alone. Understand? That is the ordinary crossing itself, or the meaning is same only, account payee. That means the payee's account only the amount will be credited. Understand? It may not be that wrongly credited to anybody else account. So the banker must be very particular about depositing the money only to the payee's account. That is called account payee crossing. Okay, then sometimes the crossing will be obliterated. That means they will rub. Okay, what after writing we will rub with the pencil something, isn't it? So a person may find it very difficult to collect a crossed check if he does not have a bank account in the same branch. Okay, so what he may do, he can rub easily. But if the obliteration, and it will be done by dishonest people only, isn't it? Honest people, they never rub it. Okay, but that paying banker must be very particular about this check, this obliteration. Okay, the paying banker must be very cautious about the obliteration, whether a check crossing has been obliterated. Okay, next let us see the next heading, endorsements. Endorsements. What is the meaning endorsement? In bill of exchange, we have learnt in 11th standard, isn't it? The transfer of ownership of a check or promissory note or bill of exchange from one person to another. Here, that the Negotiable Instruments Act has given one definition. Okay, section 15 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, it is telling what is the endorsement. Here they will the maker or the holder of the check, okay, the holder or maker of the check will sign his name, okay, sign his name at the face or the back of the instrument. Okay, either on the face or the back of the instrument, or if there is no sufficient face, a slip of paper can be used to endorse the document, to transfer the title of ownership to another person. Okay, so the person who is signing and at the face or the back of the document is called the endorser. Okay, that another person one to whom it is transferring, that is called endorsee. Okay, so here if the space is insufficient to write the endorsee's name and address and the to sign that to sign the maker's sign, then he may add a slip of paper. Okay, a piece of paper will be attached to this check, to the instrument. Okay, that piece of paper or that slip of paper is called a allonge. Launch. Okay, so now you have understood, isn't it, what is the endorsement? They are transferring the title of ownership. Okay, transfer of title of ownership from one person to another just by signing at the face of the instrument or check, or at the back of the instrument, or if the space is not sufficient in these two places, he may add a piece of paper to endorse. Okay, then just delivering that document, the ownership is transferred to the endorsee. The person one who signs the check is called the endorser. Okay, so we will learn the requisites of a valid endorsement. What are the requisites? So what are the requisites? Number one, here, that from the meaning what we have learned. Okay, the endorser will, it is made on the face of the document or at the back of the document. Okay, so usually it will be done at the back side of the document. Okay, the second one, if there is no space, okay, what he will do, he will add a piece of paper. Okay, that allonge we have studied, isn't it? So in a piece of paper he will do the endorsement. In a piece of paper he will make the endorsement, that is called allonge. Okay, then third one, sometimes the endorsee that maybe the endorsee's name will be written. They if the endorser has written the endorsee's wrong name, okay, wrong name, then what the endorsee also should sign. So the endorsee can sign with the same spelling, okay, same spelling. Then after that, in bracket, he can write his correct name. Understand? Then it will be done for the full amount only. Okay, if any endorsement is done for the any part of the amount, check documents amount, it will be invalid. Okay, it does not have any value. Okay, then the endorsement will get complete only when they deliver the documents to the endorsee. Understand? Endorser must deliver the document after signing, and he has to give the document to the endorsee. Only then the endorsement gets complete. Okay, but sometimes the endorser may die before handing over the document to the endorsee. If he dies, then that will become invalid. Okay, then that negotiation, all the endorsement, many endorsement can be made. That is why we studied, no, if there is no space, then how it becomes without any space, because the document might be transferred to many people. Okay, so that one, to whom it is, it will be given, so the first one gets first priority. Okay, if there is a case in the court regarding the ownership, the first endorsement only will become valid. Okay, then they may not sign in block letters. Block letters should not be used for signing in the document. Okay, then they may not add any prefix or suffix name or with the name of the endorsees. Okay, that are payee, they may not add any prefix or suffix, two names, three names. Okay, then endorsement must be made with ink only, not with pencil. Okay, then if the payee is an illiterate person, then he can sign the document with that thumb impression. Okay, thumb impression, we know that with the ink they will keep their thumb and they will keep, isn't it, that thumb impression. But this must be attested by another person. Understand? That attested person should give his full name and address, who has attested this thumb impression. Okay, then some people, they may authorize to endorse if any person. That means, that in the for any company, a check may be endorsed, isn't it? So the authorized person must use the word, that is not his check, but he's doing for someone else, isn't it? So he must use this word for or on behalf of, instead of him, in his favor he is doing. Okay, on behalf of, or for, or per pro, these words he has to use. Then he must sign his sign the document to do the endorsement. Okay, next we will learn the kinds of endorsements. Kinds of endorsement. First one is endorsement in blank. Endorsement in blank or general endorsement. What is this blank endorsement? Endorsement in blank. Here the endorser, one who writes the he he transfers the title to another person. Okay, that means one who signs the document is called the endorser, isn't it? He puts his signature only. Okay, at the back of the instrument, isn't it? Usually it will be done at the back, we have studied. So here he will not write to whom it is transferred, to whom it is endorsed. Only his sign will be there. But just by signing at the back of the document, that means the ownership is transferred to that person. Okay, here that is called endorsement in blank or general endorsement. The second one is just opposite to this one, endorsement in full or special endorsement. Here he will do the sign the document, endorser, isn't it? In addition to signing the document, he will write the name of the person to whom it is transferred. Okay, so that is called endorsement in full. Now if you can convert a blank endorsement into full endorsement just by writing the name of the person to whom it is transferred. Okay, then the third one, conditional endorsement. Conditional endorsement. Here the endorser, that here that there will be a condition for paying the amount. Okay, the endorser is liable to pay the amount of the document if a condition is fulfilled. Okay, if there is the happening of a particular incident or one activity. Okay, after fulfilling that condition only, that check will be, that ownership will be transferred. That condition will be written in the document. Okay, so after fulfilling that condition only, the payee can collect the amount from the bank. Okay, that is conditional endorsement. The next one is restrictive endorsement. Restrictive endorsement. Restrictive endorsement. Here, it restricts the further negotiation. Okay, it will be restricted to the last that endorsement. After that, it may not be endorsed. Okay, so it restricts with the last endorsement. Okay, then sans recourse. Here, who is the responsible person for the payment? The endorser, isn't it? But here, if he writes these words sans recourse, if the endorsee again endorses the document to some other person, then that the first one who wrote these words, he is not liable for the further negotiation. Okay, so he is not responsible for the further negotiation in the payment of money. Okay, that's why he write this word sans recourse. Then facultative endorsement. Here, if a check is dishonored, then who is responsible? The endorser, isn't it? Endorser is responsible for the dishonor, because he has to, his account should have enough money for the honor of that check. Okay, if it is dishonored, he is responsible. So sometimes he can write that one word, okay, one sentence, notice of dishonor waived. Okay, So if that even if he writes this word notice of dishonor waived, that means he is not responsible for the dishonor. But even then, that legally he is the endorser is the person. He is the responsible person for the dishonor of the check. Okay. The last one, partial endorsement. Partial endorsement itself is invalid. Okay, what is the meaning of this one? We have studied already, isn't it, in the presumptions, requisites. Okay, there that what is the meaning? It is endorsed for the partial amount of the check. Okay, to another person it will be endorsed, but it is not valid. So if they have made a partial endorsement, the whole endorsement becomes invalid. Okay, they cannot do. Okay, so we have studied all the that endorsements. Okay, types of endorsements. Now we will learn the types of negotiable instruments. First one, bearer instrument. Bearer instrument. Here, all these three instruments we have studied, isn't it? Check, bill of exchange, and promissory notes. These three instruments are bearer instruments. Give that word pay to a person. Okay, pay to A or bearer, or one who is having that check, that is called bearer. Okay, whoever takes that check, pay to him. Okay, or bearer, that person will be getting the amount, that is called bearer instrument. Or next one is order instrument. Order means pay to A or order, that means order of A. That means he can negotiate, he can transfer the title to anybody else. Okay, here it will be given, it is blank instrument, for him alone he can take. Here it will be transferred to any other person, that is order instrument. Then third one is inland instrument. Inland instrument. Here this instruments means all the three, okay, together. So here promissory note or bill of exchange. Here inland means within India. Okay, it must be drawn in India. Then means it will be written in India. It will be payable in India. Okay, the payee also will be in India. Then he will be a person. So he will be a resident in India. Okay, this one can be endorsed to a person who is a foreigner. Okay, it can be endorsed to a foreigner, but it will be drawn payable. Okay, in India only, or that means the drawee, but it can be payee can be a person outside India, but that instrument is called inland instrument. Then foreign instrument. So here we can say an endorsement which is not an inland instrument is called foreign instrument. So what is the meaning? It will be drawn outside India. Okay, or it will be payable outside India. Okay, or it will be drawn upon foreign citizens, foreign people. Okay, that means the people one who is outside the India. Okay, Then next one, ambiguous instrument. Ambiguous instrument. His ambiguous instrument means we may draw, a person will draw a bill on the drawee. That person, that one who draws the bill, uh, will not be having the same position later. Okay, that means we can say, or the drawee also may become that fictitious. There will not be any person like that. Okay, drawing a bill on a company that cannot be, that may not survive after some time. Okay, that is called ambiguous instrument. Next one, inchoate instrument. Inchoate instrument. Here we can say it is an incomplete instrument. Okay, either the blank check will be given, no, they will not complete the amount, or the, okay, that check is called inchoate instrument. Then time instrument. Here the time limit will be given. Okay, so, or that I will pay this amount after 3 months. Okay, okay, this time instrumental will come for the promissory note or bill of exchange. Okay, time instrument. Then accommodation instrument. Here this accommodation instrument means, I will explain this one with one example. Okay, here here A needs money. Okay, so he draw a bill. Okay, and on the name of B, and B is accepting that amount. Okay, and A needs money. Okay, so what he is doing with that bill, he go to his bank and he is discounting that bill. Okay, he gets money. Okay, then the due date will be there, isn't it? Around the stay, the bank check will become stale after 3 months. So within the 3 month, or on the, that is called the due date. Okay, before the due date, what the A will do? A will deposit the money in the account of B. Okay, so that day, that check will be collected. Okay, B doesn't need to worry about anything. Okay, A himself deposit the money in the account of B. Okay, that is called accommodation bill. Then documentary bill. Here actually there is no bill. Here we cannot say the bill of exchange or check or promissory note as documentary bill. Here by custom or usage, some other documents are considered as bill. Okay, they are the lorry receipt or bill of lading. Okay, if we transfer the goods through lorry receipt. If the goods are transferred through ship, that document is called bill of lading. If we transport that goods through a train, that document is called railway receipt. All these will be considered as the documentary bill. Okay, then the last one is clean bill. If the bill that will not it does not have any document to title to goods, they are called clean bill. Okay, okay, simply bill, but it does not have any that document of title to the goods. That bills are called clean bills. I think we have learned all these things in the bill of exchange, isn't it? In the kinds money market, we have learned clean bill, accommodation bill. Okay, documentary bills. All the other things we have studied now. So I have completed this lesson, and the next class I will teach you 23rd lesson. Okay, 23rd, 24th, 25th I will try to complete. Okay students, thank you very much.